All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Speak to the Beak. I am Tim the Ferds. I'm joined by Keith Hernandez. You're hopefully listening to this on a Monday morning. We record on Saturdays, which means we officially made it to opening day. We've seen 2 days worth of games so far. It's currently 11:11, actually, look at that, in the morning. So if you're a high school girl somewhere, make sure you make a wish. All right. But Keith, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I've watched 12 hours of baseball each of the last 2 days. Probably gonna watch another 12 hours today, so couldn't be better.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm totally with you on that. Opening day was sweet. Obviously, if you've been following me and Keith throughout the offseason, we've been doing divisional previews. Those are clearly over since we have some actual games and things to talk about. So the format of the show is going to change just a little bit. Obviously, we're still going to give you all the news and our thoughts on the hot topics in baseball there. We also are going to just give you some fantasy advice, maybe a series we're looking forward to. So I know if you listen to Hockey with me and Joe Wilson over there, we are trying to convert some of the casual fans into diehards and or create some casual fans. So if you don't know where you stand on the spectrum here, because me and Keith are like maximum junkie capacity, because we're out here streaming games at like 11:30 at night on the West Coast. So you don't have to do that, but we can give you some series like, hey, if you wanted to see a couple of guys here or there, we got you covered. And then obviously Keith will give us his little spiel of the week still with Keith's Corner. We got some good stuff for you, so don't worry. We will keep it entertaining throughout the year. The schedule will not change. We will be here dropping a pod every Monday morning. So once a week until, I don't know, October-ish, give or take. Obviously, that would be playoff time, and we'll figure it out when we get there. So, before we start today's show, I know you guys are excited. A couple things we have to do. The same things I've been saying. Number one, follow Beak Brands, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can see our content there. We post some pretty good stuff. That's where you can also interact with Keith and I. I'm at Tim Ferdinand. He is at Keith Hernandez, 2 Z's. Number two, check out the website, beakbrands.com. The podcast is posted there. Our written pieces are posted there. It's a good time. All right, number three would be if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. All right, we need it. Subscribe. And if you like the video content, definitely let us know. Give us some feedback. If you're listening on Apple and or Spotify, make sure you subscribe and follow. Share with your friends. Help a guy out. All right, so now that that's out of the way, you would think at this point I'd have that pre-recorded, but no, I do not. I just say it every single time we start. All right, Keith, so opening day was 2 days ago. Some quick news that we had. I just want to, obviously, Francisco Lindor news we're going to talk about, and normally we would open with that, but we're not because Trey Mancini is out here beating cancer, and I don't really care about any other player. That's the most important thing. So I just want to say it was really cool to see him out there yesterday, and he did get a hit in his return. I took him and beat the streak because you know this man just beat cancer. You knew damn well he was getting a hit in his first game back. So how cool was it to see Mancini back out on the field for Baltimore?
So happy for him. I have him on my fantasy team too. You took him and beat the streak. I've gone with Tim Anderson the last 2 days, so I'm up to 4 right now on my beat the streak. I'm also so happy that beat the streak is back.
Yes, I know.
Love that. My favorite. But yeah, love Trey Mancini. What I think he had stage? I think it was like stage 3 cancer. That's crazy.
Colon cancer. I know
doctors are telling him he might not have played again, and he's back out here starting opening day at first base.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
It couldn't be happier.
The coolest thing for me about it was they took all the pictures pregame and all that stuff or whatever. Xander Bogaerts hits a single or whatever, and then gives him a hug at first base. That's super cool. Because they're supposed to be division rivals. They're not supposed to like each other, but obviously that's above baseball, and I just thought that was awesome.
And then when they posted on the MLB Instagram, and all these players are commenting under can't wait to hug you when I get to first base when I play or whatever. That's so cool.
That is cool. We just throwing COVID right out the window. We're just hugging the other team. Yeah, that's a good idea. I know they mean well, but as a joke, let's hug the guy who just beat cancer. That's a great idea.
Well, 85% of the league is vaccinated.
I know.
So they're in good shape. It'll be fine.
Except not the team that we needed to be vaccinated, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. But just want to say shout out Trey Mancini there. So let's get into some other news. Obviously, me and Keith are Mets fans. If you can't tell by what Keith's wearing, I mean, I don't know what you're doing. Yeah, there you go. Francisco Lindor, the deal got done like late at night.
It's like 11:30.
Yeah,
almost midnight, I think.
I didn't think it was gonna happen. I went to sleep. Well, I tried to go to sleep, and then for some reason I could not go to sleep. And like I wrote in my article, my stupidity senses were tingling, and I never checked my phone. But I was like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna get up and check my phone, and I checked it, and it was like, a text from you, a text from 20 other people, like notifications up the wazoo, and I was just like, oh my god, I couldn't handle this right now. So, because I'm like trying to go to bed, but I guess not. So, it's 10 years, 341. He was hella petty. He wanted that extra $1 million over Tatis, which we're gonna talk about right now. So, as a Mets fan, you could be a fanboy first, and then you could be objective after that. So as a Mets fan, how do you feel about the Lindor thing?
I mean, I love both sides. I don't, as a fan, like looking as an outsider for like the club, and just looking as a diehard Mets fan. I love it both ways. You can't give up your future. You traded 2 shortstops. You traded a future middle of the rotation pitcher. You can't give that up for a rental player. Like, there's just no way you could make that happen. And I think, like, there was no way Lindor was leaving without an extension either, because it made too much sense for both sides. He wasn't going to get that much money, anywhere close to that money on the free agent market. Nobody would have paid him that much. I think he would have gotten probably like 8,250, 8,275 if he went out on the market. But now he's setting the market for guys like Corey Seager and Trevor Story too. But yeah, I mean, when you have the richest owner in baseball, I'm not concerned about money. It's like, if you need to keep a player, give him as much money as you want. I mean, that goes for Conforto, that goes for Syndergaard or Stroman, whichever one, or both if they want to keep both of them. He's not concerned about the luxury tax. It's not a concern to me because it's not my money. So
yeah, that's one way to look at it.
This man made $1 billion in income in 2020. Like,
that's
yeah, it's it. When he had his first press conference with the team, he said he's not in this business to make money. So the Mets aren't his main source of revenue like a majority of owners around sports are. We'll be fine. It really doesn't matter. I don't care that he's going to be playing through 36, 37. I mean, like 38, yeah. But like Justin Turner's 37, 38 right now, and he's playing like he's like 30.
Yeah, but he's always been a really natural hitter, even when we had him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So even if we go, like Cano is just old. Like, he's just slow. That's the only thing. He can still hit. I mean, he's probably juicing too, but so what? I think we're gonna get 6-7 years of shortstop out of Lindor, and probably gonna have to move him to second base eventually. But I mean, our top prospect is a shortstop right now, Ronnie Mauricio. And if they have no plans on switching his position so they can get him to the majors, they have to trade him immediately for a pitcher. Immediately.
You don't think they're gonna move him to second and or third base?
I think third would make sense, but like, we have Brett Beatty too, who I really like.
Also true.
Mark Vientos is another top 10 prospect that we have, who's also a third baseman. He's kind of like he has the A-Rod body. He's like 6'4", like super lean. Pretty sure he also came up as a shortstop, and they said, you're too tall to play shortstop. Go move to third base. But Ronnie Mauricio has that frame too. He's like 6'4", 6'5".
One of those guys is going to be terrible because the Mets player development is awful. We have this all the time. Like, we have so many top prospects, and they're terrible by the time they get to the major league. So, like, I can guarantee you one of those guys will be awful. So we pretty much have two guys.
We've had too much luck with top prospects, like the last couple of prospects that came up.
Yeah.
Like Jimenez, and Dom Smith finally came around. And
once he learned how to sleep.
Yeah. But yeah, one of those guys is going to be bad. But who knows?
So I'm glad you took the optimistic route. So obviously I'm a little more realistic than that. Well, one, we overpaid him, and I think you'd agree with that because you said he was going to get like 280, probably 300 at the max on the open market. No one was going to pay him that except for us. So,
yeah.
The problem I have with it is like how the Mets went about it. Like you did it the most like ass backwards way possible. You traded for this guy, you didn't sign him immediately, and what team trades for a rental and does not sign them immediately?
I think it was because he didn't want to sign immediately. Like if you look back at the Johan Santana trade in like 2008, like they traded for him and they had like 6 hours to get an extension done.
Yeah.
Something like a ridiculously short amount of time to get an extension done. And I know Lindor in his press conference was like, "Oh yeah, like I want to see the city. I need to know the organization. I need to know the players."
That's fine, but like you gotta sign them before. Like obviously, people like Fernando Tatis don't just get signed. Like, oh hey, you want to sign an extension? Yeah, I'll just give you this money. Like obviously, they've been working on that. And when you look at their numbers, Tatis like blows him away across the board on like a seasonal average. I have those, don't worry. So like
well, seasonal average, but Tatis didn't play a full season yet. That's the thing.
Yeah, but like I mean, his injuries aren't like these catastrophic things.
Yeah.
So like he's gonna destroy him in all those numbers. So then but Lindor's gonna be like, well, what you just said. Well, I play all the time and I've been in the league longer, so I deserve more. Like, first of all, no, you don't. But now here we are giving it to you anyway, so that's fine. Like, whatever, we'll give you the extra $1 million because you're a diva. That's why Cleveland traded you. But like, I think we're gonna get 4 years of like prime Francisco Lindor left, and then we'll get like 2 years, like give or take, of like
above average.
Yeah, like well above average play. And then the last like 2 or 3 years of that, it's gonna be bad, I think.
Yeah, but I think that's expected with like every long-term deal.
Well, that's why I don't like giving long-term deals. Like I don't mind giving you like a lot of money. Like I would have given you 8 for like 320, because I just don't want the last 2 years on there.
For superstars, you have to do it. Like that's the only way you're gonna keep them.
All right, good. So I'm glad you brought up that word because he's not a superstar. All right, so here we go. I wrote about this. I wrote about it. All right, so I don't know if you read this, but for everyone else. So I took the best, quote-unquote, 8 shortstops in baseball, and I compiled all their stats. All right, so these are the guys that I chose. You tell me if I'm missing anyone, right? Fernando Tatis, Trey Turner, Lindor, Seager, Story, Bogarts, Correa, and Bo Bichette. I left off Javi Baez and Gleyber Torres.
Yeah.
You agree with that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because when I looked at their numbers compared to his, it wasn't even close. So obviously he's better than those guys, right? So out of those 8 players, what I did was, because obviously, like you said, Tatis has only played like 2 seasons, and then Seager got hurt, and he had like Tommy John in the middle of one, and then so they've all played a different amount of time. Like Story came up, and then he was like on fire, so I didn't want to go like just based off one season at a time, because then obviously no one can match that home run total from the first year. So I thought the fairest route was to just go seasonal average across the board. So out of those guys that I just named, this is where he ranks in major categories. Runs 4th. Well, we'll do runs and RBIs first, because I think that's a product of where you hit in the lineup. Runs 4th and home runs 7th. RBI 7th. So obviously Cleveland was batting at the top of the order, so obviously you can't hold that against him.
He requested to hit leadoff a lot.
So he's not going to have a lot of RBIs, so throw that out. And then runs, that's just the people behind him can't hit, so get rid of those 2, right? Then he's 4th in hits, 3rd in doubles, 5th in triples, 4th in home runs, 4th in stolen bases, 4th in walks, 6th in batting average, which I was surprised at because he's actually a good hitter. 7th in on base, 5th in slugging, 5th in OPS, and 5th in OPS plus. And I just don't think, and obviously, like you said, he had our balls in a vice grip. There's nothing you can do about it. Like you screwed up, you had to pay him. But like, I don't know if he's gonna like age that well, because he's already, like, we had a conversation last week about like guys that are just like good at everything and not amazing at anything. I think he's really good at a lot of things and amazing at nothing. And those are the players that don't really age well, except for Derek Jeter, and I don't think he's Derek Jeter. I don't know. It just makes me sad. Like, the way we did it was just foolish. It was foolish. Like, I don't hate it. Like, if hating it was like a 1 and loving it was like a 10, I'm at like a 6. Like, I'm lukewarm on it. Because, like, the upside immediately is, like, amazing. Because he's right in his prime. the first 3 years we're probably going to make the better end of the deal.
Yeah.
Because he's probably worth more in the beginning, but at the end we're just going to get shafted. We're going to have Robinson Cano or Albert Pujols like 2.0. And I think the reason I looked at it that way is like they showed that graphic on MLB Network of like highest paid best players of all time. And it was like him, who we overpaid for, DeGrom, which is like the biggest bargain in baseball, either him or Ronald Acuna, you could pick one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cespedes, who was terrible, David Wright, who was terrible, and who's Johan Santana, who had like 2 or 3 years, and then he popped his shoulder, and then R.I.P.
And that was it.
Yeah. So like, that's why I don't like long years, because like one catastrophic injury, you're in big trouble now.
Well, if he gets hurt and he's out for two straight years, insurance covers it, and we don't even have to pay it. So
yeah, we can David Wright him. But that's enough about that's enough about Lindor. That was a solid 10 minutes there.
Yeah.
So, but that's our thoughts there. Like we said, Keith loves it for both ends. I'm more of like not lukewarm, but not boiling hot, like somewhere in the middle. You know, like if you were gonna make pasta, you can make pasta, but you'd be there for like 10 hours. So, because I'm back and forth. Let's talk about some other things we saw this week. Opening day, yep. Josh Donaldson already injured because of course he is.
He hit a double, and he came limping around first base,
but they said it wasn't his calf, which I was surprised at. They said it was his hammy, which might actually be worse, but
that's definitely worse. But I mean, I guess that's something easier that you can handle. Like calves are kind of like genetic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like, it's kind of just like you have them or you don't, and he doesn't. Hammies you could fix, but if you have weak hammies, you're gonna have knee problems, and he's already 30, 36, 37.
Yeah.
If his hammies lead to knee problems, he's done. He's also on a kind of long-term deal. He's got like 2 or 3 more years left. Can't believe the Twins signed him that long of a deal.
I know. But I mean, he can hit. He can still hit, but it's just like he can't move.
Hit. Hands down. He just can't. Yeah. They can't play him at third base.
No, if he was gonna play a position, it'd have to be first.
Or he's just at the DH, but you
yeah.
can't, but because you have Nelson Cruz, who's also 41 years old. So like,
it's got to be first then, and put Sano back at third. I don't love that.
No, God, no.
I don't love that.
They're in a bad position.
Their team is good though. They just have
team is good.
They have a lot of guys that do the same thing, which is not move and just hit bombs. Yeah.
And hit bombs. They've been trying that recipe forever and losing the first round of the playoffs.
How about that video though you were telling me about Josh Donaldson's calf? Yeah, tell the people. I wish we had the video to show, but
yeah, I wish we could play it. But there's this video of this like barbecue place in the South, and he has like this big like turkey leg or something, and the guy at the restaurant's like, if it don't fall off the bone, it's free, and he picks it up. And he holds it down, and all the meat just slides right off the bone. And someone posted it on Twitter. The caption was like, "This is Josh Donaldson's calf."
That's so funny.
My God.
That's so funny. All right, so obviously that's not a good thing for the Twins there. But let's transition. So we'll talk about some MLB storylines we have for this year. I'll let you go first. So what do you got? What's the thing you're looking out for? If you could just pick one item that you're looking for this year.
Oh man, I guess like the new baseballs they talked about. You know, if you've been watching like the Padres games, the Padres Diamondback series, and I think the Seattle Giants series, those balls are flying out of the park.
Yeah.
Someone hit like a 3/4 swing. I think this was in Seattle. Like 3/4 swing. Popped it up to right field, and it was like 5 rows deep in the right field bleachers. And I was like, there's like no way. Like, no way.
Did you see Joey Wendell hit a Chase Utley home run yesterday? He fouled through to like his shoulder, and the ball was like 20 rows back. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea how he did that. But, I mean, the Blue Jays-Yankees game looked good in terms of, like, the new baseball, like, working.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Gary Sanchez, the one he hit, he got it. I think Teoscar Hernandez hit one.
Yeah, he did.
And the one he hit, he got it. Like, those were, like, solid home runs. Trying to look at some other games. Like, I mean, Rays and Marlins, I mean, I don't know if they just couldn't hit. I didn't watch that game.
Well, the first game, Austin Meadows home run 1-0. And then the second game, going into, like, the 7th inning, it was Austin Meadows home run 1-0 still. It was just Austin Meadows.
Yeah. Angels White Sox look good too. I've watched both of those games because
Those are super talented teams too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super talented teams. I love watching Rendon and Trout and Ohtani. I know I hated on Ohtani before. I'm kind of on the Ohtani hitting train now after I watched him hit a ball into the highway in spring training.
Okay, change your mind.
Yeah, it changed my mind. I'm not on the pitching train. I'm not on the pitching train yet. I'm down with him being a hitter. And then I mean obviously Tim Anderson I love.
Yeah, everyone loves Tim Anderson. That promo they did where he throws the bat. Oh my god, man, I love that.
Love it.
I love that. So Keith's on the juice ball thing.
Juice ball, yeah.
For me, I mean, I wrote about a couple already, but this was one of them that did not make the article because I could have been here writing it for 4 pages of length. The NL MVP race. So I'm going to tell you 3 guys. You think if anyone else even has a chance to win it, all right? So Soto, Tatis, and Acuna. You think it's a lock to be one of those 3 guys?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's a question for you, because this is a hot topic among baseball.
Unless Aaron Nola pitches to a 1.5 ERA and carries the Phillies.
Carries on his back, yeah. There's a couple of those. Yelich could do that, bat 340 and carry the Brewers.
Yelich is on a revenge tour.
Yeah, he is. Do you see what he said? He was like, "Yeah, I knew I sucked last year." I was like, "Oh, all right."
Well, did you see the video he posted after their first win?
No, I didn't.
It was
see the video.
You know how Tom Brady posts those montages on Twitter.
Yeah.
After every single win, he did the same exact thing.
Oh man, he's livid.
Yeah.
I say, and he got lucky that who was that in right field that dropped that right to him? I forgot who it was.
I don't remember.
Guy's going back on it, hits him right. You could see him too. Hits him right in the mitt, and he looks at his mitt like there's supposed to be a white thing in here. What happened? And it's on the warning track. So back to Soto, Tatis, and Acuna though. If you had to pick one guy to build around your team, which one are you taking, and why?
I want to say Tatis just because it's that's a cornerstone position. You need the shortstop to hold down your team, but Soto is so good. Soto is just he's so good. Out of the 3 of them, he's by far the best hitter. I think, in my opinion.
Okay.
And I think Juan Soto and Ted Williams is an actual comparison.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's a real thing. That's not a stretch. It's an actual thing. I think that's just that's what's pushing me to go with Soto.
Okay. That's interesting. So for me, it's either Tatis or Acuna, and I'll tell you why. So same thing you said. You need a shortstop, strong up the middle defense. Me and Keith play baseball the same way. You need it. He's also electric, and people that don't even like baseball are yo, I love this guy. He makes almost getting thrown out of first base exciting. I like him a lot. For me though, the reason, Soto's Soto is, definitely the better hitter than Acuna, but, Acuna can go 40-40, and Soto's not, because Soto doesn't run. That is true. Soto doesn't run.
That's true.
Acuna's got everything. Soto can't run, which is not a bad thing. I mean, the guy's going to bat, 335 in the next, 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
We're nitpicking, the most absolutely, fine details. But I just like guys who can hit and run, so that's why I'd be at Acuna, because he can play center.
He can play center, but how many times did the Braves take him out for defensive replacements every single game he plays center?
Soto can't even play left field, so
yeah, well, he's playing right field. Well, we haven't seen him play right field yet because the Nationals are so stupid.
So we could talk about that real quick. That's a good transition. So, but we're both on Tatis, and then it's just your preference. Keith likes more of the hitter thing. Preference. I'm more of a speed defense guy, but not obviously those are the best 3 guys in the National League. It's not close. So.
Oh yeah. Not even close.
The Nationals, obviously, we have not seen the Mets and Nationals play. Nationals have COVID, or whatever. 3 guys have COVID, whatever. There's rumors on Twitter that's because these guys went to a strip club. I don't know if that's true or not. Probably not, but. One of them I saw was Trey Turner was at the strip club, and some guy commented this guy looks like he's a 12-year-old. There's no way they let him. There's no way.
I'm pretty sure that was a joke because it was the 4 or 5 best players Trey Turner, Juan Soto.
Well, I saw Turner's name a couple of times in different tweets, so I'm curious to see if he plays on Monday now, or that's just a made up thing they want to make fun of him because he looks like he's 10. There's currently no information on who or what, but obviously the Nationals haven't played. The Mets haven't played, which is a shame. But Keith is happy because in our baseball league, he's playing against DeGrom, who has not pitched yet. So that's rough for our friend Joe there.
Oh my God, that saved me.
But obviously, it's not a favorite thing you've seen because it hasn't happened. So what is, like, give me your 2 favorite things so far, and then we'll move on from opening day and yesterday. What are your 2 favorite things you've seen?
Oh man. Well, I was happy. Obviously, Mancini playing yesterday. That's like huge. Man. Oh, and Michael Kopech pitched yesterday, and he got the win.
And he got the win, coming out of the bullpen.
Coming out of the bullpen. They're starting to build him up, back up to starting role. So if you, I guess, I don't know if we're gonna talk about fantasy now, but
no, in a couple of minutes. But if they turn him for this year into a super reliever like Josh Hader, everyone in the American League's in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, I think that would be smart for them.
At least this year,
At least this year. I think they have enough starting pitching to, make it through. They don't have the bullpen to do it.
Yeah, he could really lengthen them out.
Not yesterday, the game 1, they didn't bring in Hendricks into a spot where they should have brought in Hendricks. And then yesterday, I think in like the 8th inning, they were like runners on first and second or something, and Trout and Rendon were coming up, and they didn't put in Hendricks. And then they put him in the 9th when they were already up like 6 runs, and he gave up 2 because it wasn't a safe situation. He's probably out of it. But like, Tony La Russa's gotta get the
it's his second game back, Keith. Give him a break. Give the man a break. He's like 75 years old.
No. He intentionally walked Albert Pujols in 2021.
But that's his guy. Come on, that's literally his guy.
But it's 42-year-old Albert Pujols.
I know, but like, you think it's not like a sign of respect? Like, hey, you batted 345 for me with 40 home runs for like 10 years.
It was a close game. Like,
it was a close game.
He was throwing the game for the sake of kissing Albert Pujols' butt.
Listen, Tony La Russa does some weird things. That's definitely one of them. One of the favorite things I saw this week, though, or one of my favorite things, playing in a blizzard. Okay, so...
Oh, my God.
I'm not sure. Like, it was awesome to see as a fan, but as someone who is like a baseball player, and I'm sure a lot of people listening to this either played baseball at a high level or whatever, listen, that is not fun. Playing when it's cold out. That is terrible. So here's my question to you. Why is Tampa playing in Miami and the Diamondbacks are playing in San Diego, yet we got 3 teams out here literally playing in the snow?
I don't get it.
Like,
it
Detroit should be opening up in Tampa in the dome.
Yeah, in the dome. Like, they should not be anywhere up there. The same day that they were playing the blizzard, Boston they postponed their game because of a chance of rain. It didn't even rain. They didn't even rain, and they canceled the game.
Oh man, that's incredible. That's incredible. The other thing I was looking out for, though, the Justin Turner, Cody Bellinger, like, taking a home run away from him, that was pretty awesome.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
Because you don't really see that, so I'll just draw a picture real quick. I guess we'll promote John Boy because I just think he's hilarious. So check it out. He did a breakdown on YouTube. Turner's on first. Bellinger hits a home run to left field, but it looks like Tapia robs the home run. So Turner, like, rounded second already. He's like, oh, I got to get back. So he sprints back, but it turns out that Tapia lost the ball when he hit the fence. It, like, rolled out of his mitt. So then Bellinger's, like, pointing, like, no, what are you doing? And then Turner, like, hauls ass all the way back to first base. So what ended up happening was Bellinger credited with an RBI single, because technically he passed the runner, even though it was Turner's fault. Bellinger's out, does not get credit for the home run. Turner gets to score on the play. And in the dugout, they both looked so confused. Cody Bellinger looked lost, like he had no idea what was happening. That was my favorite part of it.
Cody Bellinger looks lost anytime he's out on the field.
That's why I liked it. Because he looked like he had what rule are we talking about? Like, he knew something messed up, like when Turner was going back and he passed him. But then after that, like, you could see him on the, like, standing outside the dugout. He's just like, you could read his lips, like, what's happening? What's going on? Like, he has no idea what's happening. That's my favorite part of the whole thing.
I wonder how long it took him to find out that he didn't get credit for a home run.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
I feel like he still doesn't know.
I don't know. That was funny, though. And then, obviously, Fernando Tatis almost getting thrown out of first base, but doing the little matrix slide. Big fan of that. But we're going to move on because we're already, let's see, how deep are we into this here?
Like 30
We're about
minutes.
30 minutes on the dot. So we're going to try to keep these a little bit shorter for you guys because obviously it's the weekend and by the time you listen to this, it's Monday, but we just like to give our thoughts here. So we're going to start a thing. Here we go. Our stimulating series of the week. So if you're a casual person and you want to look out for a series that you might want to watch a game or two of or catch a couple innings here and there, me and Keith will both give you a different series and why we kind of want to look out for that one. So, Keith, why don't you go first? What's your stimulating series of the week and why?
Yeah, so I got the A's against the Dodgers. This is a huge series for the A's because they look like they're about to get swept by the Houston Astros. So, off the bat, you're gonna start. I'll be optimistic. I'll give them one of the four. So you're gonna start the series, the season 1-3. You're gonna start in last. Astros to the top team, the only team in your division that you gotta really worry about. They got 3 games on you already. Now you're gonna play the best team in baseball, and if you don't win 2 out of 3, I think it's a 3-game series. But you gotta win the series. You gotta win 2 out of 3 at least, because if you let's say worst case scenario, they get swept by the Astros, they're 0-4. Then they go and play the Dodgers, and the Dodgers come in there and just score 12 runs every game. And now you're 0-7 to start the season. Like, that's a hard place to get yourself out of.
Trust me, I'm well aware because I picked the Oakland A's to win the division. So I got a lot of heat for that, like people coming at me on Instagram and stuff. Like, listen, if there was a gun to my head and my life depended on it, I'm taking the Dodgers and the Yankees. All right, like, relax. Take it easy. Like, you people are mania. You think the A's are going to go to the World Series? Like, listen, we're trying to be a little creative. Like, everyone could just pick chalk.
Yeah.
Everyone could say, pick your team out of Padres, Dodgers, and then, whatever, the Yankees. But, like, that's boring. So, me try to mix it up out here. So the National League, we were, like, in lockstep. But, like, no. Like, if I had to choose right now, life and death, the A's or the Yankees, I'm taking the Yankees. I'm not an idiot. So, but just for my prediction, it ain't looking good to start the year.
No.
Not really sure what the A's are doing. Starting their number 4 on opening day, really weird.
Yeah.
Like, I know Montas is their best pitcher, but he had to throw a bullpen on Wednesday to pitch on Monday. So, like, all right, like, why are you starting Chris Bassett on opening day? I don't know. Very weird.
They had Luzardo go yesterday, right?
Yeah. Lazaro's stuff is electric, but his location is terrible. When he refines it eventually, he's gonna be really good.
Is he like Robbie Ray status right now? I didn't watch that game yesterday.
He'll probably be like Robbie Ray. Yeah, he's gonna strike a ton of dudes out, walk a couple of guys. That's how he got himself in trouble. The 3-run homer to Bregman. He finally pulled it over the plate and he cranked it left center. So, that's a good series to watch. Obviously,
Bregman's another guy in a revenge story.
Yeah, that whole team is. You see Altuve tagging up on that pop fly to it's like 2 feet onto the grass.
That was closer to the plate than the one that Tatis tagged up on 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's insane.
That was ridiculous. Well, Andrews also has like a noodle arm, so I think he knew what he was doing.
Oh, that was calculated, but the fact that you would do that in a professional game, that's bold.
Insane.
That's disrespectful. My series for next week, or I guess you're listening to this on Monday, so this week coming up, Blue Jays Angels. So you want to see some star power, you came to the right place. Vlad Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette, Kevin Biggio, Mike Trout, Ohtani, Rendon, Albert Pujols, Dylan Bundy, Hyun-Jin Ryu, Justin Upton. Like, there are dudes everywhere in this series.
And the most underrated shortstop in baseball, Jose Iglesias.
Yes, he's very, well, you remember when he was bad? When he was really bad?
Terrible.
He was like a strict defensive player, and then he just learned how to hit.
220 hitter, at most.
Yeah. But now he's good. It's weird.
Yeah.
But you got a lot of guys in that series. There should be a lot of firepower. And I know we weren't going to talk about this, but I forgot. And then you brought up shortstops. Mm-hmm. You see Eugenio Suarez botching that easy double play for the Reds. Do you think that's going to work with Moustakas, who's already limited defensively, Suarez playing out of position, and then Jonathan India playing second base?
No, we talked about this in the division preview. They don't have any defense, and that's gonna kill them. More than their bullpen.
Yeah, it did on the first game. So
yeah.
I mean, if you missed it, Yadier Molina, who literally is so slow, hits a ball to shortstop. Suarez botches it, and then, like, whatever, 2-run score, and then the next hitter comes up and hits a 3-run homer of Castillo. The inning should have been over. But you could tell he was, like, trying to backhand it and get it out fast. Like, dude, you gotta know who's running. It's Yadier Molina. You could pick the ball and run it to first base yourself before he gets there. Like, oh, man. I mean, that just made me sad because I have Castillo on my fantasy team. Like, oh. And none of those are, like, unearned runs. Because, like, oh, you can't assume whatever, like a double play. Like, it's Yadier Molina. All right? Me and Keith could go out there right now at shortstop and throw him out 10 times out of 10 times, bro. Like, there's no way. I can't even
throw a baseball anymore, and I can still throw him out.
Oh, my God. But, no, so my series, Blue Jays, Angels. Keith's series, Dodgers, A's. So don't worry. We got some West Coast love for you guys out here. Dig the West Coast games. We got 2 more things. We're going to do a little fantasy segment here, Keith. And then we're going to do Keith's Corner. So, to start, we're going to start with our fantasy segment. So, it's going to, if you're new to this, right, it's going to be called Who's Your Randy? Kind of like Who's Your Daddy, all right? So, a little story behind that if you're a casual. Long time ago, Yankees fans out here chanting Who's Your Daddy to Pedro Martinez. And then they promptly blew a 3-0 lead in the 04 ALCS. Red Sox went on to win the World Series. Pedro pitched in Game 7, got through the 7th inning. So you're probably saying, well, who's your Randy? Because last year, Randy Arozarena was, like, stupid hot. Like, all-time rankings hot. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you guys that we think are going to be good streamers for your fantasy baseball team. Who's your Randy? And they're randoms because they're random guys that are on waivers. We're going to try to shoot for guys that are rostered in less than 50% of leagues if we can. And me and Keith have 2 really good ones for you today. So, Keith, I'm just going to keep kicking it to you because we're killing it today. Who's your Randy?
I'm going with my John Means. 2019 All-Star, finished 2nd in the Rookie of the Year voting in 2019. I think he would have had a better chance to win it if he didn't fall apart in the second half. But he's back. This guy was torched by the juice ball last year, definitely. He had an ERA. I mean, ERA wasn't even that bad. It was like a 4.4, 4.6, but his WHIP was under 1. Like, it doesn't matter like what kind of league you play in. Like the only thing he doesn't do is strike people out. I mean, that's fine. Even yesterday, he was struck out 5 guys in 7 innings against the Red Sox. I mean, it's good for him. Changeup was working. A lot of first pitch strikes. He looked really, really, really sharp. Category league, points league, doesn't matter. He's gonna have a low ERA, gonna have a low WHIP. Not gonna give up, obviously low ERA, not gonna give up a lot of runs. So you're gonna be in good shape if you pick him up. Right now he's rostered as of Saturday, rostered in 41.4% of ESPN leagues. I think he's up to 61% now, 62% in Yahoo. But after yesterday, it looks like 14.5% of people added him. He was under 30 yesterday. So
he's going to be a good streamer because the way the rotation might work out, he might get a 2-start weekend next week.
Yeah.
So like you could get him for probably Tuesday or Wednesday-ish of this week, maybe Thursday, and then 2 starts the week after. So that's a good pick. Keith's all about the John Means life.
Love John Means.
For me, my Randy is going to be Brady Singer. All right, Kansas City Royals. Me and Keith talked in our divisional previews how we both thought the Royals were going to be better than expected. He's only rostered in 26% of leagues. All right, he pitches tomorrow, which is Sunday, but you're listening on Monday, so he would have pitched already. Last year, he came up. He was pretty good. This spring, 2.65 ERA, 20 Ks, 5 walks, and 17 innings. All right, so there's a couple reasons why we want this guy. Obviously, low ERA, low WHIP, and he strikes guys out. That's what we want. Number 2, plays in a super weak offensive division. All right, like the Indians cannot hit, and the Tigers really can't hit either. So that's 2 teams right there, gravy matchups. He has a really good chance to break out this year. He misses a lot of bats. And obviously, the K, Kauffman Stadium over there, super pitcher-friendly ballpark. So, like, he should be a good pickup. And if you play with negative points for losses, they're probably not going to lose a lot of his starts because the Royals' pitching is their weak point. Like, they can hit. They have guys who can hit. So they're going to put up runs. So you might not get a ton of wins, But in terms of no decisions and whatnot, you're not going to take a lot of losses. So
Oh yeah.
Brady Singer, that's my guy. I have him in every league I'm in. If you don't have him yet, you need to add this man immediately because this is not a streamer for me. This is like a long term. Like I'm holding on to this guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Only 26% in ESPN leagues. Looks like he was added. Like his uptick went like up by like 8 or 9% like the last like day or two.
Okay.
But in Yahoo leagues, he's owned in 59% of Yahoo leagues.
Wow, really?
I got him in my 12-man league though.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm excited. He's gonna be a stud. You know, first round pick. Only I think 2019. He was a first round pick. Had a really good minor league season his first year. Pitched with an ERA I think around 2.6 in between like 2 or 3 major league teams.
I'm hyped for him.
Like, single A, double A, something like that. Came up like you said, came up last year. He was a stud. Had an amazing spring training. He's gonna be very, very good.
Yeah, go pick that guy up.
Oh yeah.
So those are our two Randys, John Means, Brady Singer. John Means really not a random. Brady Singer Randy, definitely a Randy.
Yeah.
Okay, so Keith, we're gonna wrap up today real quick with Keith's Corner. So what do you got for us?
Not too much of a rant, just something like funny.
Okay, let's hear it.
Just how the the White Sox are treating Eloy Jimenez like he's dead. Like, opening day, they hung up his jersey in the dugout, and every player and coach signed it. And then player introductions before the game, they brought his jersey out there, like they did for like Jose Fernandez. And then like the White Sox Twitter was tweeting pictures like, Eloy Jimenez, you're with us forever and always and stuff, and like,
oh my goodness,
he survived surgery. He's fine. he's recovering, but now everyone's making all these memes of like, you know, like the Gates of Heaven picture.
Yeah.
Where it's like
that meme's really funny. Yeah.
Like, with like all those celebrities and like Harambe and all that stuff. and they have like Eloy Jimenez walking up there with his bat. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was weird how they like treated him. That like he literally is dead, but like he's just out for like he might not even miss the whole season. Like he literally might come back, and they're treating him like this guy is like dead.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't get it.
That's insane. That's complete insanity. But listen, that's what we got for today. That's a pretty good Keith's Corner. That's funny. Hopefully, if you're a Mets fan, you get to watch some Mets baseball on Monday. We'll see what happens. Listen, me and Keith will be back out here every week. Like we said, Mondays dropping a pod. Remember, follow Beak Brands, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can follow me and Keith at Tim Ferdinand or at Keith Hernandez, 2 Z's. Check out the website, beakbrands.com. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. Share with your friends, maybe. If you're on Apple or Spotify, you know, rate and review, follow, subscribe. Also share with your friends. All right, we could use some help out here, getting the word out. If you're a fan, let us know. If you don't like us, let us know. Maybe we can fix a couple of things for you. But until then, we will be back out here next week with another pod. And don't worry, me and Keith got you covered top to bottom because we don't sleep anymore now that baseball started. We will be up until about 11:30 watching West Coast games. So until next time, me and Keith are out of here.